In February 2023, Wendy Kloppers, a civil servant with over 20 years of service, was gunned down in her car at a housing site in Delft. She was shot multiple times at close range and was pronounced dead on site. But her murder wasn't random. It was a calculated hit linked to a tangled web of gang activity, corrupt government officials, and money laundering operations led by none other than Nicole Johnson, the wife of the 28's gang leader. This is the story of how the biggest female drug lord in South Africa met her end. Cape Town is a city of contrasts. Stunning beauty on one side, rampant crime and corruption on the other. Just like the life of female drug lord Nicole Johnson. Flanked by her husband and head of the 28's gang, Ralph Stanfield, she has the city in the palm of her hands. How did Nicole operate a crime syndicate in a city of watchdogs and drug abusers? Nicole Johnson is a clever woman that has been operating from the shadows, running a criminal empire that merged drug trafficking, extortion, and money laundering. But Nicole's power didn't come from just her gang. Her reach extended to the highest levels of government. The shocking ties between gangsters and corrupt officials will surprise you. As the wife of Ralph Stanfield, she was more than just a gang leader's partner. She was a mastermind that was just as capable of murdering whoever gets in her way in cold blood. Known as one of Cape Town's most dangerous female drug lords, Nicole ran an empire built on fear, loyalty, and bribes. Her control extended from the housing projects to the quarters of power. And when Wendy Kloppers unknowingly stood in her way, Nicole allegedly ordered the hit, believing Wendy to be a contractor defying their extortion demands. There will be no dissent, and the streets knew this. But Nicole Johnson didn't rise to power alone. Her organized crime syndicate included officials like Malusi Bowie, who were allegedly part of the machinery enabling her empire. Bowie, a high-ranking government figure in charge of housing projects, was accused of laundering money for gangs like the 28's. Through his staff, Bowie allegedly funneled illicit funds and facilitated gang control over government contracts to the tune of thousands of dollars. In areas controlled by the 28's, like Delft and Mitchell's Plain, Bowie turned a blind eye to extortion, violence, and theft, allegedly in exchange for payouts from Nicole Johnson's payroll. His role was simple: look the other way while gangs dominated housing projects under the guise of construction workers. Now you need to pay close attention. Meet the Construction Mafia, a deadly syndicate that has taken over Cape Town's housing projects. Extortion, intimidation, and murder are their tools of the trade, and guess who runs it? That's right, Nicole Johnson. Contractors and subcontractors must pay a cut to these gangs or face deadly consequences. And these gangs don't act alone. They thrive with the backing of corrupt officials, ensuring that they are untouchable. The tentacles of their crime syndicate extends from hit men on the streets to the banking sector and high places of power, like Malusi Bowie. And Wendy Kloppers' murder showed how far they're willing to go to protect their profits and their connections. But on the 15th of March 2023, Bowie's activities with the 28's gang were exposed. The government accused him of serious crimes related to fraud and corruption to the tune of 1 billion rands. Although he wasn't arrested during the high-profile raid, but his devices and sensitive documents he had access to were seized. And soon his sketchy relationships with gangsters in crime-infested areas of urban life were brought to light. Malusi Book denied those claims and pleaded not guilty, and the direct link to Nicole Johnson could not be drawn. Yet, Nicole's brilliance lay in her ability to blur the lines between the underworld and high society. Investigators believe her network of bribes and favors extended to multiple government offices. And with figures like Malusi Bowie in her pocket, she had the freedom to operate without interference. Her alleged involvement in Wendy's murder is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Nicole's empire depended on fear and silence, traits that her government allies happily maintained for the right price. In April 2024, law enforcement seized nearly R5 million in cash and luxury items from a property linked to Stanfield's brother. Where could that have come from? Plus Johnson's construction company, Glomix House Brokers, had been awarded government housing contracts worth millions of rands, figures that have been carefully padded. But it was in 2024 that cracks in the empire began to show. A 40-year-old suspect, Warren Darren, turned himself in, confessing details that tied Nicole Johnson and her network of hitmen to Wendy's murder. This was significant progress since these are the suspects directly linked to Klopper's murder that were now in police custody. One of these individuals, identified as a hitman under Stanfield's command, was apprehended and charged with her murder. Further investigations revealed that this hitman was part of the firm. Guess who runs the firm? Ralph Stanfield. Just over a year ago, the anti-gang unit detained the couple under heavy inquiry into a failed hit on a former worker, along with other accusations purportedly connected to a manhunt of a former Stanfield employee who claimed to have stolen over 1 million rands from the couple. Authorities also busted Johannes Ball, Denver Buisen, and Jose Brand at the Cape Town Magistrates Court during the arrests. It was discovered during the dramatic bail hearings that the former employee, now a state witness, had not shown up for work on November 24, 2022. Upon a tip-off, Ralph had intended to kill him. The witness then disappeared after hiding her BMW at a Milnerton condominium. According to the state's evidence, Stanfield and Johnson started a witch hunt and even intimidated the father of the witness, assaulted an innocent neighbor, and grabbed the automobile without permission. Originally denied, Nicole Johnson later filed a fresh application at the same court using fresh evidence. Among her arguments were worries for the health of her teen daughter. Her application suffered, though, when the state played an audio tape from Tracker displaying allegedly fraudulent activity. She subsequently sought an appeal of the magistrate's ruling before the Western Cape High Court. Meanwhile, Malusi Bui was suspended and his connections to gangsters laid bare. But despite the arrests, Cape Town's underworld remains as resilient as ever. However, in December 23, the city of Cape Town blacklisted 7 companies associated with Johnson due to reputational risks. Were these deals ever legitimate in the first place? The government swiftly blacklisted all companies affiliated to Nicole from ever receiving government contracts, and the municipality cut her off from future deals. Ralph Stanfield and Nicole Johnson were forced to declare their assets before a court, and Ralph's confession was that he only made 40,000 rands a week while Nicole confessed to having a salon, being a co-owner of a gas station along with her husband that put her income at 97,000 rands. It was also revealed that the entire Human Settlements Department was deep in the pockets of the 28's gang, so it was quite easy to eliminate Wendy Kloppers. Wendy dedicated her life to serving her community, only to fall victim to a system corrupted by greed and fear. Her murder revealed the horrifying extent of Cape Town's crime network, a network where gangsters and officials work hand in hand. The murders were not over just yet. Simon Stanfield, Ralph's cousin, was killed on the 13th of March 2023, also shot while sitting in his car. Not long after, another Stanfield was killed as part of Ralph's hush plan to make sure some people will never testify against him. After all, this is not the first time he's had high-profile cases involving gang members, politicians, or businessmen. In 2019, Stanfield and his close associate, Jonathan Cloete, were charged with the murder of Rashid Staggy, the former leader of Hard Living's gang. What happened to Staggy? Well, he was fatally shot in Salt River, Cape Town, and died soon after. In an unrelated incident in October 2024, a witness testified against Stanfield saying he killed the steroid king, whose name is Brian Weinstein. The witness said Stanfield's motive is to control Steroid King's business and had to take him out. Craig Stanfield was killed in Valhalla Park on December 17, 2024, but it is unclear what role he had to play in the larger scheme of things. Nicole Johnson's empire may be unraveling, but Cape Town's future hangs in the balance with rival gangs set to take their place in the city. Will the city rise above its corruption, or will it remain in the grip of fear and crime? That's the reality of the streets of Cape Town. Crime doesn't just thrive, it rules. Believe it or not, Ralph Stanfield and Nicole Johnson own the city, and they get fat wads of cash out of the city reserves, siphoning substantial sums from the city's economy annually. While precise figures are challenging to ascertain due to the clandestine nature of their operations, several indicators shed light on the scale of their activities. The Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime has highlighted the pervasive nature of Cape Town's extortion economy, with gangs like the 28's infiltrating various sectors, including construction, and there's still a lot more that's under the carpet in the city of Cape Town. But if there's one thing we can hope for, it's this: Wendy must get the justice she deserves. If you want more videos and stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more content. Remember, there's another video available on my channel. By the way, feel free to leave a positive comment or suggest any ideas to improve the channel. If you've made it this far in the video, it means you're a loyal viewer, and I want to reward you. First of all, you have to see the previous video. If you haven't already, it's as good as this one. Now, I want to let you know that I'm doing a $50 giveaway. Now, to participate, you need to leave a like, subscribe, share the video with one or more people, and most importantly, leave 3 separate positive comments. That means first leave one comment, then another, and then the last one, not all in one. In the next video, I'll announce the winner and contact them by email.